Hi guys, Angel Walker here with you again, and in today's video I'm gonna be sharing with you 10 things that you should know before coming to Germany, coming right up. And before we go to the topic of today, guys, if you are new to this platform, please do not forget to subscribe, and also if you're watching this video right now, don't forget to hit that likes button and also hit the notifications bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. In any case, I'm trying to be consistent in such a way that I upload 3 videos every week, and that will be on Monday, on Wednesday, and on Friday, and then in between I upload some shorts here and there, so feel free to check them out. So point number 1 that I would like to go to is that you need to carry coins around, and this would be very handy, especially when you land at the airport and you need to use the airport trolley. For you to release the trolleys, you need to put in a coin of maybe 50 cents or €1 or €2. Without that, you're not able to use the airport trolleys. If you're making plans to come to Germany, make a point of having some euro coins around with you. That will be really helpful in that aspect, and it will also come in handy when you need to use the bathroom, because some bathrooms or some places might have like the free service to use the bathroom, but you'll also realize quite fast that in so many places you need to pay at least 50 cents or €1 to use the bathroom. So point here, always carry some coins or some cash around. Number 2, of course, related to that point, is that cash is king in Germany. Cash is very important. Just recently I traveled with my boyfriend to the North Sea, and we needed to pay our bill at the restaurant, and we were not allowed to pay by card, so my boyfriend had to actually walk out of the restaurant, go look for an ATM machine, get some cash, and come and settle the bill. So always walk with some cash around. In relation to this same point, I've found myself in a situation where I needed to take a taxi spontaneously, and most of the taxi drivers, of course, do not accept card payment. So again, I had to ask the driver to drive me maybe somewhere that could get an ATM machine for me to withdraw some cash and pay. And most of the time, because my bank is Sparkasse, if I was using another bank account apart from this one, then I had to go through like a loss of €5.80, because I was withdrawing from a bank that is not mine. €5.80 is a lot of money that you do not want to waste. So if you can plan in advance and have some cash with you for any eventualities, then that will save you a whole lot of hassle. Point number 3 would be punctuality. So this is also something that I had to learn very fast in my very first month of staying in Germany. That is when I started dating a German and started to like really get into the system. Of course, I was living like more than half an hour away from him, and when he needed to come and pick me up, maybe for when we planned to go out on a date or something like that, if he said that he would be picking me up by 7, trust me, he would be there either a few minutes before 7 or exactly at 7. And with my African time, I had to like really get adjusted to this, because maybe sometimes he would send me a message and say "Ich bin da," and I still like notice that I need to finish this and I need to finish that and all that. But in time I had to learn that when he says 7, it is 7, so I better start my preparations 1 hour in advance, so that by 7, if he says "Ich bin da," then I also just grab my bag and go. But thankfully, he's a patient guy and he never really used to rush me, but also you don't take advantage of people's kindness. So number 4 is planning in advance. In Germany, things are planned way in advance. We are so used to like in Kenya, maybe even just walking by somebody's place and realizing, oh, so and so is at home, I can drop by and say hi. But if you want to hang out with somebody in Germany or whatever, you need to actually make plans in advance, inform them of your wishes, and then they'll have to check their calendar. Like my boyfriend actually has a calendar that he has to check and see, okay, this is free and that is free. We can fix this activity here, or maybe this might have to wait for some other time. As I'm talking to you right now, we have like a gathering with my boyfriend's actually old friends that meet from time to time, and by the end of every meeting, then we decide whose house we're going to visit next. And the last meeting was, I think, the beginning of May, and by the end of that meeting we already made a date in advance for July to meet in July. Like 2 months in advance, plans will already be set. And this is something that I really appreciate, because I work in a hotel where we don't have like fixed schedules because of the spontaneity of our business. So we don't have like a shift planned out for the entire month where you can know that I will be free on this and this date and make plans. We only receive our timetable on Friday for the next week. So I cannot make any plans for the following week before Friday of that week. So in this case, we also have the option of giving like a Dienstwunsch or an Ausgangswunsch. Dienstwunsch means, or like you can say, on this and this date I prefer to work morning shift, or I prefer to work afternoon shift, or you can say on this and this date I would like to have an off day. You can actually choose when you want to have an off day way in advance, and if it works out, if there is like nobody else who has asked to be off on this particular day, if things work out, then of course you get a confirmation early in advance so that you can also make your plans. You can also fix your dates. So because they understand this, the aspect of plans being made in advance, we also have that opportunity to give our wishes in advance. So that is something that I really appreciate, and that is something that you should know, that when you are in Germany, things are planned way in advance. When you want to meet friends, when you want to do this and to do that, every activities, even in your home, you'll realize that plans are made way in advance. And mostly people don't cancel on plans. People don't make last minute cancellations and say, oh, I'm not coming. If something happens and somebody needs to cancel, they also need to give a notice way in advance, just a polite way. So the other point, which is also very important to note, is this thing called quiet Sundays. Germany becomes sort of like a ghost country, or most cities become like ghost cities on Sundays, because you barely see people outside. There is not so much activity. Supermarkets are closed, shopping malls are closed. So the only places that would be open would be maybe in restaurants. And this is something that we had to experience like just maybe a couple of weeks ago. The youngest boy, like for Max, needed to like make up a special recipe. I was making chapatis and he needed to make a special sauce, like we needed to make some wrap or something like that, and this sauce actually required mustard. And somehow when we were making our shopping for the following week on Saturday, as usual, we missed out on the fact that we needed mustard. And so it was really frustrating going around, even because you realize that tank or Tankstelle or petrol stations can have these open shops on Sunday where you can grab a few things, but we tried and tried but couldn't find this mustard anywhere, and no supermarket was open for us. So it was either we change the plans or just really think of a quick alternative. Thankfully, because restaurants are open on Sundays, and there is this particular restaurant that we are used to dining at, which is not very far from us, we went to them and we requested that they sell us some mustard, and thankfully they filled this one of these containers and just sold us the mustard at €1. Otherwise we would have had to change our plans for the meal for that day, which we were really looking forward to, because I mean, the boy had gone for like a sort of an apprenticeship at training and learned a new cooking method, or learned a way of making a sauce, and wanted to try out and share with the family, which could have really been a disappointment if we were not able to get the mustard. But thankfully we had a way around it. I don't know which number I am on, but the other most important thing that you need to know is that stay off the bike lanes. In Germany, it's like people are really fond of riding their bicycles. It's a really common thing to see people riding their bicycles, and there are dedicated lanes for bikes. Mostly these lanes would be like sort of red, the ground would be red in color, so just stay off those bike lanes. A few times I have been like hit with somebody, not like in a way that I got hurt, but somebody just brushes or like by you, and they don't even look back and say I'm sorry, or they really give you a green, like, why are you on this lane? And it took me a while to realize, like, okay, why are they getting mad? Because it is a dedicated bike lane, it's not a pedestrian path. You need to stay out of it. So the sooner you learn, the better. You can avoid accidents, and also you can just avoid like people really giving you that strange look. And the other thing also, on the bike lane, when you are cycling, you need to stay on the right. This is also something that I recently encountered, because I was driving, or like lately, because it is it's coming up to summer and the weather is really nice. We have been, my boyfriend and I have been riding our bikes a lot, like going to the supermarket and all that. And because we were riding side by side, I was riding on the left lane, and there were these kids that were coming from the opposite direction. And this kid was looking at me strange, like, why are you on this, on my path? And I didn't even realize. That is when Mark told me that even when you're riding your bike, you need to stay on the right. In Germany, like, people drive on the right, so even bicycles are ridden on the right side, hand side of the road. And this is something that apparently kids are trained even in school. When they are in grade 4, then they are trained how to ride a bike and how to stay safe on the roads when riding a bike, which is something really cool that I just got to learn recently, that actually kids go through such a training. And that's why it is very like rare that you would see a child who has been hit, who was riding a bike or whatever. Like, it rarely happens. I've never even heard of it. Maybe it happens, it could happen, but kids are actually trained, and that's why when they see you doing the wrong thing or riding on the wrong side, then they give you that strange look, like, hey, didn't you get the memo? Something like that, which is really cool and something that you should just keep in mind. The other important point is something called the fund, or like the discount. So I have a bottle right here. It's a water bottle, and it has this symbol. So when you buy any like bottled drink that has this symbol, then know that an extra 25 cents has been charged on that bottle, and that if you return that bottle to the supermarket, then you get a receipt that you can use it at the counter. And sometimes you can even just claim that for cash. Like, let's say you have put together your bottles, you have like 10 of them, 20, 30, 40, 50, and you don't really need to buy something at that point. You can simply return the bottles and you're given back your cash. So that is something really important to know, because you can be throwing away your bottles and you're throwing away your cash. But the moment you learn to value a coin or a cent, that is when you can really become rich, because like that coin put together with another coin and another coin, then at the end of the day you can have so much. If you decide that you're not going to touch these bottles and pile them away like on a corner, and then years later go and redeem them for cash, you realize just how much money you have been saving. So if you're coming to Germany and you buy a drink, spare your bottle, and you can always get back your 25 cents, which right now this 25 cents translate to something like, if I can do the calculation, because right now the euro has really strengthened against the Kenya shilling, if I can say that. So a euro right now is converting, like 1 euro is 148 Kenya shillings. So if we do 148 Kenya shillings times 0.25, then my friend, if you are throwing away this bottle, then you're throwing away 37 Kenya shillings. For me, I will never stop converting to Kenya shillings, and this is something that avoids or like helps me avoid you doing some unnecessary expenditures. Because the soonest I learned like to value that shilling, and remember that when I go back to Kenya, that same shilling would be really important. Even when my nieces come to me and say we need a lollipop, these 37 Kenya shillings, already 3 lollipops, my friend. I'm already a popular aunt. So yes, sometimes I have to do the conversion and see that, hey, if I can spare this thing, if I can spare this and I can spare that, or if I can save this and I can save that, then at the end of the day I have something significant. It is very important, financial sense. So yeah, that is just something that you need to know. So don't throw away your fund, don't throw away your 37 shillings, which still happens. People still throw away these bottles. Either some of them really are kind enough to just put the bottles on the side of the like the dustbins, because there are actually some people who live on this. They come and collect these abandoned bottles. And of course, in the supermarket, they will not ask you for a receipt and say, did you really buy it from here? If you did not buy it from here, do not return it. This whole thing is actually in the aspect of promoting recycling, because instead of people dumping bottles here and there, then you return the bottles, and then these bottles are actually recycled. And even the people that go collect them and then go and return them for cash, they're still helping in the same recycling process, which is appreciated. So at the end of the day, it's a win-win for everyone. And people who do not see the value of, and it's not like not seeing the value of the 25 cents, that's why they throw it away. I mean, you are in this city, you buy a soda, you don't even have a bag with you, and you're thinking, am I really going to walk around with this bottle in the name of 25 cents? So they throw it either in the dustbin, or they put it somewhere where whoever needs it can collect it, and whoever collects it and goes and returns it, then that is money in their pocket. So yeah, that is something that is also really exciting to know. And of course, the other point, wow, my battery is really low. I'm going to hold it from there. So guys, my battery ran out dry and I had to recharge it, so I don't even know which number I am on, but I'm going to add 2 more points that are really important to note if you're planning to move to Germany. And that would be the fact that apartments actually come as an empty shell. I went through this when I was actually trying to move to my own apartment, and yes, the person that was living in that apartment before literally moved out with everything, moved out with the furniture in the kitchen, moved out with the furniture in the bathroom. So there was basically just like a shell, and I was going in on myself trying to figure out, you know, the right kitchen furniture, and it was gonna cost a lot of money. So this is just something that you need to factor in, that if you're gonna move to Germany and get to a point that you want to look for your own apartment, then apartments come actually empty. There is literally nothing in the kitchen. You need to buy your own sink, you need to buy your own cabinets, you need to buy literally everything. And when you move out, then you can make the arrangement with the landlord in case they want to keep the furniture. Then you can make the arrangement with the landlord and actually maybe sell it off to them or to the next tenant, or you actually need to move all your stuff out because the next tenant is also coming in with their own kitchen. So you actually go to places, to the shopping malls, or to actually to furniture stores, and you find an area literally dedicated for kitchen furniture. They even recommend for you like an entire kitchen that you can buy. So that is something that is also really important to mention. And then last but not least, and this might sound like a cliche, but it is the language. And this cannot be emphasized enough. It may sound like a very simple thing, but literally if you're planning to come to Germany, make some point to get accustomed to the language. There are so many apps that you can learn from, like maybe Duolingo or Babel. Some you might need to pay a small subscription every month, but then get to learn a few things every now and then. Because when I started to get in touch with the language, I was using Duolingo, and it was actually a free app, and it really helped me to learn quite a number of phrases and sentences and new words. And by the time I came to Germany, though I could not speak so well, I was literally able to understand so much from what I could read maybe on the billboards, or what I could read the signs, or even simple instructions or simple questions that people could ask me. I was already able to understand, which made my life so much simpler. But I have heard of people going through literal depression if they cannot speak a single sentence, and they just feel like they're being ignored when they get to the supermarket, or when they get to maybe even the public offices, where you find these older generations of Germans who have not learned English. So it's really good. I mean, if you're planning to move to a country that actually the national language is German, then if you want to make your life easier, then it's only very important to know that you need to learn the language. So if you have some time, however little time that is left before you come to Germany, then make some point, start to learn the language. It will really be helpful to you. And the fact that I came and concentrated on learning the language for the first 3 months, it really helped me even to now get into the workforce so much easier than so many people who had to struggle because so many jobs actually require a certain degree of proficiency in German. I don't know how many points I gave you, but guys, these are some of the things that I feel are important to know before you come to Germany, and they are gonna like reduce the shock that you're supposed to, like you might end up going into, or actually just make you knowledgeable and well prepared for what to expect. Thank you so much for watching. Do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't. I would also like to get your suggestion of what kinds of videos you would like to see next. Thank you so much. I love you guys, and I will see you on another video. Bye.